Hello, guys. I'm Pastor Milad with my beautiful assistant today, Vickie Milad. We are going to be talking about what is amazing about our company and the questions and answers that you might get or people that are just starting in the business might receive. And it's important to be able to have those questions aligned so that when you are ready to be able to start your own business, you'll have those questions. So I'll ask you guys if you mute yourselves, please, so that we can get started. And then after Vicky and I go through our little questions and answers, then by all means, open your mics and we'll try to answer as many questions as you may have. All right, so Vicky is also a brand partner. She's my number one brand partner. She's my partner in life, and I always give props to her because I don't get tired of telling you guys um, how blessed I am by being in this business with a wonderful soul that she is because she carries me in more ways that I could even think or imagine. When it comes to doing this business like this, and we talked about it, we're doing a phone call earlier this week with some of you guys, and I shared a little bit about it. And the reason why I like to share this is because it's important to know um, how easy or how difficult or how challenging, I'll say challenging, things can be if you do this alone. But again, you're not alone. We are here for you. We have plenty of groups, plenty of websites, plenty of social media outlets that you can ask questions. And I guarantee that if Vicky or I don't answer, especially Vicky, she goes like, "Oh my gosh, you haven't answered this question." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I've been busy." She's like, "No, you got to answer now." And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And so we get out to give you those answers because we know how important, especially if you have a client like not to Mary was saying about or Gerard was saying, how about that pinched nerve? How did you help it? It's important to be able to have those answers. And so here is an avenue that we are giving you. Again, we don't want anybody to reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already created, right? It rolls very easy, it's smooth, it's a system. And we're just here to give you that system so that you can give to your brand partners, clients, preferred customers, or preferred customer plus. So Vicky, let's start. How are you day today, and how are you feeling? You're muted.
Oops. My day was wonderful, of course. And how was your day?
Oh, it was excellent. I'm
Okay.
blessed and highly flavored.
So we want to dive into some questions, and I have questions set aside. But if anybody else has questions about your business, it could be in the back office, could be the pay plan, compensation plan, whatever you have, products. Please open up your mics, raise your hand, whatever you'd like to do, and ask the questions. Now would be the time to do that. But if I don't see anybody, I have a list of questions I can go through here. So,
Yeah, let's go start with you, hun, and then we'll move to everybody else questions. Because uh, through this questions, because I was looking at Vicky's, I wasn't cheating or anything. I was just asking
yes, you
Vicky
are.
if she can give me some questions, what she's going to ask me. That way, I'm not stumped, right? And those questions were really, really good, and we want to go through them. And as we go through them, take some notes. And this will be recorded, so we'll share it. It'll be available on tomorrow's our YouTube channel. So go ahead, Vicky. Let's get started.
So I'm looking at this as like, say I'm a new brand partner coming into the business. What kind of questions would I have? So the number one question I like to always think of is what rank should I focus on first and why? And is there a plan? Like, should I be doing this within the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Is there a time period for this to happen?
Okay. So there's a little bit to unpack. First of all, we are going to talk about what is the plan of action. All right. What do you want your business partners to start doing the moment they get involved with us? And the one thing that I always do is I add them to our social media. Okay. And if they don't have any social media, I ask them to download WhatsApp. Some people say, for instance, when I started, Vicky, I didn't really like WhatsApp. I kept messaging Lorenzo and he kept answering me on WhatsApp. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going to have to, swallow it and just use it. And I started using it and I kind of found out that I really like it. So entering into WhatsApp so that get they can be part of that coal, right? That it's hot and it's ready to do
Community,
the work,
to be a part of the community.
to be a part of the community. And that's one thing that I like to do. I like to add them to that. And then 30, 60, 90 days, I like to work with them to ask them where their plans are, their list of customers so that we can get started. And a lot of us kind of like just take it easy and you let them breathe a little bit. But this business, as you know, Vicky, it's got to be ran fast. And if you don't
Yes.
run it fast, if you just take it easy, guess what? Life gets in the way and you start putting excuses. You're like, my dog stinks, my kids are late for school, this, that, and the other. And then at the end of the day, you have no more time. And you're laughing at our dog stinks because our dog does stink sometimes. But anyhow, uh, we don't have perfume in our dogs, David. So hopefully was that good enough? Would you
Yeah, but you didn't say what rank should I be
okay.
focusing on first.
All right. So there are many ranks to go up, and the higher the rank, the more compensation, the more percentage of the compensation that you can take advantage of. But to start with, of course, is manager. And to start as a manager, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I think this is to visualize it is really important. To be a manager, we have to have I think it's this one. Okay. Um, Let me open that screen. Can everybody see my screen here?
Yes.
All right. Now, are my controls hidden? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't see the controls. I see that it's all 9 ways to earn and it's
Okay, good.
big.
All right. So, this one here it goes to show you what each requirement is. And let me go ahead and make it a little bit bigger so you all can see it. And you have here, of course, this is 9 ways of making money, but the qualification and the rank qualifications is right here in the center. I'm going to put it up here a little bit so you all can see it. And of course, it keeps, okay. So if you look at this, one star manager, and here are the requirements. Okay, so you look down the line in the column here, then you look at this row, right? So the column here says active brand partner. That's very simple, 55 BV that you have to order. But as a one-star manager, you have to increase your BV or PV to 110, and you qualify in downline volume, which means all the volume from your center plus your own volume has to be 750 one time, and you hit it and then boom, you become a manager. As you notice, as we go up on the ranking, two-star manager is the same amount of volume. As you can see it all the way up to three-star director is 110 PV. So you don't have to change it. That is a monthly order that you have to take. That's a pack of X39 and maybe an Eon or Iceway or whatever, or two X39s or three um, regular patches like the trio that will get you to 110 plus more BV. All right. Now, what is the other qualifications? 1500 BV. So it increases the amount of volume from your downline. Now, this is not a number that you have to order. You're only responsible for 110. Now, your downline is when you start growing your business, start bringing people, and also prefer customer plus, retail volume. All that volume gets included now. Before it wasn't a part of it, but now with the new Comp 2.0, it's included. So all that volume start to generate. So that is, I'm not going to go farther than this, Vicky, because this
Okay.
we could spend a lot more time on it, but
So you answered my question. The rank that I should be focusing on first is 1 star manager, correct?
correct.
Okay. So of course I see that the B oh, Okay, you just where did it go?
Sorry.
It's okay. I see that the personal volume is 110 all the way up, like you said, to three-star director.
Right.
The only thing that changes is the BV. Obviously, your qualifying downline volume. So it's just accrual of volume and volume and volume. And the great thing is when you can reach the qualifying downline volume, you open up avenues also to earn more money, like the fourth level earning bonus. So when you become a one-star manager and you meet these requirements up top here, you get another 5%. But
Right.
as you go up to a two-star manager, you make 7%, and then on level two, you make 2%. So it just opens up the door for us to make more money. And it's interesting. And okay, thank you for answering.
Sure.
That's
And
all.
just one last thing, the one that you want to reach at, the one that you want to put your focus on in the first 30, 60, 90 days is a one-star director. Okay.
Right.
The reason why is because look, it opens up all the levels, um, level one, level two, and level three. At 7%, your first level, which means the person that you brought in, 5% is the person that they brought in, and 1% would be on the volume that you get percentage of the third person. Okay, so that opens up all your centers. And look at this. After this, it only changed by 1%. And now from a three-star director and up, all this are the same numbers. You see that? You notice that? They're 755, 755. So to
753.
753, I'm sorry, 753. I don't know what I'm seeing 55 here. But notice there's a 751, right? And there's a 752 and then 753 percentages. So it's imperative that you work on and keeping this rank because this is a paid as rank, which means you're going to get this volume get paid plus other ways, but I'm not going to go too far on the other ways of making money, but hopefully that answers your question there, Vicky.
Certainly does. All right. David has a question.
I just wanted to would you explain what that 753 is to people that don't know what 753 is?
Sure, love to. All right. So I'm going to share it again, share the screen again. So at level one, level earnings means you get 7%. Okay, let's look at it this way here. I'm going to look at this, and all the sheets that I'm showing you, all these PDFs are available in our back office for anybody to print them out. Okay, so it's good to know the description of each of one of those ways. This is the pathway, kind of like what I was showing you here, but it's made a little bit smaller. Okay. So I'm going to go down, and there's a reason why I'm scrolling down to show you where you can find this, right? Because I can give you that information, I can show you how to fish, but I can give you the fish, but it's better. I'm showing right now is showing you how to fish. Okay, so here is the level earnings. Now the level earnings are this, right? It says level earning bonuses offer you additional ways of earning by rewarding you not only the sales of your personal enrolled brand partners, but also the sales generated brand partners team. Okay, so this bonus is calculated by BV from the purchases made by brand partners and sales made by customers with the enrollment tree extended down the maximum three levels. Okay, so how does it work? When you hit the one-star manager, two-star manager, three-star manager, you're getting this percentages of the BV. Now, you may say, well, why BV? That is just the way that this particular bonus is ran. There's other bonuses that run on premium orders, and we can talk about that later. But David, so for instance, just to give you an example, my mom is my level one, so is Vicky, right? So they're my level one. My level two would be, for example, the person that my mom brought, which is Mary, right? So Mary would be here. My level three would be Linda, which is the person that Mary brought. So that is how those levels work. And we're getting paid on that. Where before, this was, only used to get paid on BV, if you remember, 660 and 330. That's out the window. I don't even like to think about it anymore because this is a much better way of receiving money. But this is only one way. There's 9 other ways. Did that answer your question, David?
Yes, I wanted to clarify the first level, the second level, and third level, what those numbers were actually meaning to correspond to first, second, third level.
Right. And you notice, David, that after a 3-star director, there's no more 753s because they stay the same. From that moment on, there's no more increase, right? So a 3-star director receives 753 and then on with the show with everybody else.
Exactly.
All
On with the
right.
show.
So on with the show, Vickie.
On with the show. Let's go. Okay. So that was a great question, David. Thank you. I have okay, so what activities would you recommend that generate the highest leverage or the highest EV? Like, what are your recommendations for that? If I was a new brand partner, how would you assist me in doing that?
We were talking not too long ago, and I think it was a conversation that I was having with David, and we were saying that the company really wants us to make customers, to do customer services, okay? Because in an industry like ours, there's a thinking of, oh, I want everybody to be brand partners. I want everybody to enjoy what I'm enjoying, making as much money as we're making. But not everybody wants to be in business, okay? There are certain people that do. As a matter of fact, I'm talking to a couple of people my mom had brought, and all I wanted to share with them is about the preferred customer program. And they're like, no, I want to be a business owner. I'm like, oh, okay. So it takes a little bit of knowing, just asking questions, right? Pre-qualification period that you would have with them is really important. Knowing who you are talking to. And how do you know who you're talking to unless you're asking questions, right? Like, so you ask questions. How are you that type of person? And we did a whole video on that. You guys can find it in our YouTube channel. We have a whole bunch of PDFs and list of scripts that we can use for that. It's really important to know who you're dealing with because look, there are times right now, guys, people are losing their jobs and are looking for a gig economy. And what does a gig economy means? A second stream of income. There are so many people looking for ways of making money. I never thought in a million years that I'd be looking for a different way of making money other than my our creating jewelry.
You know,
This came along. Excuse me?
when we have like a new brand partner or we're sharing the business with somebody, I always look at it as I'm interviewing them. Is
Right.
this someone that I think would be profitable in the business, somebody that would, would want to work with me, that kind of thing? And would it be something that I could do? So you're not just listening for their, their questions and everything. Of course I am. I'm taking notes and everything, but I also am pre-qualifying them because I want to know like if they're not interested in the business, I wouldn't bring them in as a brand partner. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Use the Preferred Customer Plus program. I mean, my goodness, you can't go wrong with that. So, so bring them in as preferred customers. Correct? Is that what you're saying?
Right. And you also don't want to bring them in right away as a business partner because they can lose the momentum of actually making money during the first nine
First
weeks
nine
of the
weeks.
business,
Yeah.
right? So if they come in as a preferred customer, they still got that, I believe it's like over $450 that they can make of bonuses the first 9 weeks that they're in a business. So you don't want them to lose that, right? So it's
Is
better.
that's the fast track, right? Is that the fast track?
Yes, that's built, bringing them in, make sure they're 1-star manager and a 2-star manager, and they can make up to $50 every week that they're a 2-star manager and stay
Yeah, do
on.
you have like a slide for that?
Yeah, actually, let me
Can
share
you
that.
show me that, please?
Yep.
It might be helpful for some people that are.
Okay, share that. All right, so that one, that is called, let me go to this here. That is called, where am I?
The business launch bonus.
Business launch bonus. Is
Thanks,
it
David.
here? Product, retail, customer server, 4, 5, break incentive. Here we go.
BLB.
Business launch bonus. Thank you, David. Man, you're on the ball today. All right. So a brand new partner and their enrolling brand partners earn business launch bonuses each week, the first 9 weeks of their becoming a brand partner, right? Not becoming a preferred customer plus, but a brand partner. So when they reach the one-star manager, your new partner gets $25 for that week, right? And you get it incentivize you to do that with them. So they give us $12.50. Now, once they reach the two-star manager rank, you get they get $50. So from that moment on, like if somebody, for instance, Vicky comes in and becomes a two-star manager right away, they have that much BV. The two-star manager BV is 1,500 BV, right? They automatically start receiving $50 every week for 9 weeks.
That's awesome.
So that is really, really cool. And you get $25 for 9 weeks. And there's a report that is given to us in our back office that's telling you if you have met that requirement, if you have met those 9 weeks, or if you have people that are just starting receiving that money. So that's really important to do that. Now, the question was, how we're pre-qualifying people, right? So when I get somebody that really just wants to try the product, I get them as a preferred customer. And I say to them, very simple. There are two ways of coming in the business, as a business partner or somebody a preferred customer plus. I don't really like to share the preferred customer program as much as I do with the plus. I like to give it to them and say, but this is the better option. I like to give all the options to people, right? Because they can make their own decision. But when they know that in their heads what they can do, then Preferred Custom Plus is the way to do it. $25 a year, and plus they get free products every month that they stay in the business. And when I get people, Vicky, that they say, well, I don't have that much money. That's a lot of money. I say, great. Look at me. What do you mean, great? I can show you a way that you can get your products for free. Would you like to know how to do that? And they're like, free products? Yeah, bring it on. And then I share with them, like if I have two or more people that are buying the preferred customers every month, preferred customer plus or preferred customer every month, they can receive credits that they can get their own products for free. And what other company does that? It's so cool
Right.
to be able to share
Right.
that.
Well, thank you.
Mhm.
Let me see. So, okay. All right, this is a good question. How do I follow up without being pushy?
All right, I'll get you there, but let's get
Leslie,
Vicky first.
Leslie
Leslie,
has her hand.
go ahead, Leslie.
Okay. On the Preferred Customer Plus, what is their process about sharing, getting people to buy under them so that they can earn that free product? How do they do that?
You mean how do they sign up?
Okay, so I know how to sign them up as a Preferred Plus customer, but I don't know how to teach them to get people to sign up with them to be preferred customers
That's a great
so they
question.
can get their product for free.
That
That's a
is a
great
great
question.
question.
With that showing you, when we're making the video, we can't show you addresses and stuff. So, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you how to do it. There
Okay.
is a part when they get a preferred customer plus, they get a back office also. It's very simple. It's not with reports like ours, but they get a page that is theirs. There is a link that they can copy and they can give that link to their friends. And with that link, they can become preferred customers themselves. So they make it so simple. One link. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
click
it's
on that
just
link.
like you get the LifeWave www.lifewave.com/.
Yeah,
So
I
you
can
get a
show it to
replicated.
you. I can show it to you, Leslie.
Uh-huh.
But
That's okay. I don't have to see it.
no, but I
You
won't
know,
be able to show
okay.
you the addresses, but I'll show you
Okay.
what it looks like. So
Another
Do
thing
they?
I wanted to say, Leslie, is this okay? So, like step by step, you mean like because I know they're going to get an email and then they just follow the steps, like setting up
Okay.
that.
Will they have, well, the only option that person has from that link is to become a preferred plus customer, or do they have the options like when we send a link where you can be a preferred customer or preferred customer plus, or you can choose to be a brand partner?
Yeah,
They have options.
they'll get those options themselves. Yes.
So they could actually choose to be a brand partner.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what does that do for that person, that preferred customer?
You tell them, say, look, there's a lot of benefits of being a brand partner because now you have a client of yours that wants to be a brand partner. You want to take advantage of that, or you want me to receive those advantages and let them make the choice. They might say, no, you keep them.
So if they don't decide to become a brand partner, then that brand partner that they have sent the link to becomes my brand partner.
That's right.
Yes.
Becomes your brand partner, like
Okay.
you bringing them in.
Okay.
Because
That's
remember,
interesting.
yeah, a preferred customer never has a lineage, right? It doesn't have a
Okay.
network. They have friends that they can bring in and they're themselves, but they don't collect money. There's no commissions being paid to them. They only have credit,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
We get
Mhm.
commission and
Mhm.
we also get credit as well. So there
Mhm.
are advantages for that. Just let them know. Look, later on, you guys can become a brand partner too. You can tell you prefer customers that way too. You're not losing out. You can later on you
Mhm.
can become one if you want to. But if they say no, 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 I only want that. I only want to order one time. That's
Mhm.
great. But this is what you're going to pay. Is you're going to pay the retail costs. And some people do want to pay the retail because they don't want to be they don't want to order monthly or whatever. They'll just, I'll pay you retail. That's great.
Mhm.
I'll get
Mhm.
$50 when you order an X39 for, at a retail cost.
I think
So
what would be best is if you showed them. So if they're coming in as a brand partner, they're picking one of the packages, hopefully, and you can show them the bonus that you would make if that brand partner is going to come in under them. If they're not willing to do that, then that goes to you, and that would be a good way to open their eyes. So once they see it, oh, that's how much I'll get if they come in. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and that the when you start earning the $50 a week bonus, are you having to make that $1,500 a week sales volume every week to make that $50 a week? Back when you were talking about the weekly brand partner bonus or payout.
no, you hit it one
Okay.
time. You hit it one time, and
Uh-huh.
then you will receive this one you're talking about, the 1500,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once you hit it one time, you are considered a two-star manager as a career, and then you will get that 1500 or that $50 or the $25. um you don't have to keep bringing. At first I thought, Leslie, that you had to keep bringing people and bringing a lot of people, whatever. As long
Mm-hmm.
as that, I believe, as long as that volume stays at 1500, you're fine. Now you got to remember that volume's going to increase because other people are coming in and they're ordering products as well. So that volume may decrease, but it won't decrease a lot because volume stays there for 31 days. So at least you get it for 31 days, right? Which is 4 weeks. And then the
Okay.
next month people are ordering again. And then hopefully you'll be able to have that enough volume to be able to make that continuance. Because there's a flow of people ordering products too.
So that one's one that they calculate every 31 days, not every week.
Yeah, it's calculated 31 days. And how does it look? Look, if you look at here, this qualifying,
Mhm.
you have to look at this because it shows you how that QDV works. Okay, so that QDV works by having a rolling 31-day period. That's how the well, this is PIV, but if you
Mhm.
go up farther, you can see the QDV customer premium, customer, I think it's over, where's QDV? I think I've gone too far.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna sit here for an hour
That's
going through these slides.
All right, so we'll jump up. We'll get you that
That's
answer a
okay.
little bit
That's all
later if
right.
it's 31 days,
Mhm.
but I believe it's 31-day rolling
Okay.
period for you. Anything
Okay.
different, David, that you know about?
No, I'd have to look at it also because it's well, you're paid weekly, so it's on a 31 day. It's on your 31 days. So you have 2 months to that you're just maintaining that.
Right. And it's
Yeah,
easy.
Yes.
that's what
As you look at your
Yeah.
volume, guys, it starts to generate. And plus, your preferred customers volume is there, your preferred customer plus, and your brand partners volume gets added. It all gets
yeah.
one sum lump.
Yeah, and I mean,
Awesome.
if you think about it, most people are coming in it as an advance. So that's 300 points right there. And then you got your 110 BV as a manager. That's 410 just yourself,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
Vicky, next one. Oh, no, no, no. Let's stop. Because what was the question that you had before Leslie's question? You had a
Being a new brand partner, and my question was, how do I follow up without being pushy?
without being pushy. Good question. Well, is by knowing their why. Okay, so if you get people to tell you why they're doing this business, that is a great reminder to them why you're like I would say to you, Vicky, look, what is your why? What do you let's do as an example as an illustration. What is your why? Why do you want to do this business? What is important to you?
A lot. No, I want to help people in general with their health to make better choices, and I do it for my family because, you know, I just love my family.
That's awesome. All right, so now I take that question, I write it down, and I have to remember that Vicky's why is to help people to get healthy and to feel better and so forth. So I say to her, now, Vicky, we're going to work on a 30, 60, 90-day period, right? And within that period, we're going to do calls. We're going to get together maybe once a week. We're going to go over what is important for you. And then, are you willing to be coachable and trainable? And of course, Vicky's answer would be, of course, right?
Yes,
So then,
sir.
with that being pushy, I can say, you know what, Vicky, remember when you said that you want to help people? Who we're going to help today, right? And with that excitement, you're not being pushy. You're actually opening up a conversation and a community with you and I where we can go and help people all around the world, right? But if before you go around the world, let's just start very close with your neighbors, your friends, and your families. And that is you can do it without being pushy. Just asking them, know your why, and now let's work with your why. Now, if they say they don't have a why, then maybe that's the person that you pre-qualifying, and maybe you'll be a person that just order products, you know?
Right, right. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Let me see. Anybody have any questions? Any questions, guys? Okay, let's see. Um, I have another good question. Is there anything that I should avoid doing as a new brand partner?
There's that's a hard one. Anything that you can do
Anything I should avoid
that
doing?
you avoid doing. Okay. One that personally to me is I don't want anybody pushing me to do something that I don't want to do. Okay. Um, I want to be able to have choices. So if you don't give people choices, if you don't give me choices, that is just my trait. I want to be able to make educated decisions. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? I don't want to start making flyers, start creating a YouTube channel, start creating a website. You don't need to do all that. There's no need for it because everything's already done for you. Just take advantage of what we have done. Brother Lorenzo always likes to say that we do a lot so that you don't have to do it, right? So we invested a lot of time, money, energy, and so forth, so that you don't have to do it.
So
Um,
don't reinvent the wheel by trying to create tools because there are tools that are already, created. to have a successful business. Is that what you're saying?
Correct, correct. And
Okay.
stay connected, right? You don't want to separate yourself. There's a lot of people that they love the community. They love to come on calls. They love, Mary has a wonderful women's group that they meet together and they pray together. They talk and they don't allow any of the guys come in, and it's quite fine. I'm not messing, I'm just playing, Mary, so don't take it personal. Um, and that's wonderful, right? That's a great community. That gives people purpose. That gives people and ability to stay together, right?
Yes.
But there are sometimes people want to be alone and they want to separate themselves and they want to do their own thing, and that's quite fine if you have all your ducks in a row. But if you don't know what you're doing, for instance, if you don't know how to sign somebody up, don't think that you're going to start a new website and go in your own way because you don't even know the basics. So follow the basics, know what you do to start very simple, very easy. And like I said that last time, Vicky, if you don't know how to patch or you don't know how to talk to people, patch your pets, patch your stuffed animal, patch your kids, patch your family, and you get that practice, and eventually you get enough courage and enough faith in yourself that you're going to go to anybody and you're going to say, "Oh, I've noticed, do you know anybody that," and you see people like limping and having a hard time walking, and you never ask them directly, "Can I patch you?" Because people are going to put their walls up and you're going to say, "You're
Yeah.
not touching me," right? I don't know what's in that stuff, and that's quite a fine. But so don't do that either. Don't be that person that wants to patch all the sick people in the world. Those people are going to come your way, trust me. But I want you to focus on people that are doing business, that are business oriented, entrepreneurs. And I think that's one of your other questions, right, Vicky? I don't want to jump into.
Well, I appreciate everything that you said, but so you're telling me, okay, so from a business perspective, I'm a new brand partner. I want to make a list, right? Get my list together. We're going to meet once a week, right? And I have to attend Zooms and calls,
Yes,
right? So that way I can learn the verbiage, how things are worded, what I can say, what I cannot say. So, and avoid making all of these tools for my business because there are already tools created.
correct.
That's
Perfect.
okay. All right, so let me see. Um, okay. I have one last question for you,
One last one.
and this is a great one. What did you do because you are a leader of a community and we share testimonies regularly, obviously. And this is a powerful question. Did you do consistently that created your momentum in your business?
I think the number one thing of becoming successful is being consistent. And I think your questions, I'm answering with your own question. If you stay consistent, if you know, okay, today I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to spend 80% of the time doing action-oriented stuff and 20% doing business-oriented stuff, like, answering emails,
IPA,
answering
income
texts,
producing activities.
income producing activity, right? So as you stay connected, as you stay focused, you know what you're going to do. Like in the morning, Vicky, when you come and wake me up, you know what I'm doing, you know? And it's funny though, because like, Vicky wakes up really early and it doesn't, she knows that I need my rest. So she goes to downstairs or whatever and gets her day started. She comes in into our room and she knows what I'm doing. What am I doing? I'm following up. I'm answering emails, answering texts, finding new videos that I can repurpose and send again, and answering brand partners' questions, answering WhatsApp questions. And so that is at the very, of course, before all of that, I thank the Lord for giving me another day to breathe, right? I thank Him for giving me a beautiful family, a home that we can call our own, a business, and people like you guys. Pray for you guys each and every day, and that's my first order of business. Secondly, is doing that and understanding that from the very beginning, I'm doing work, right? I'm not messing around. Yeah, I could send a couple videos of like, pugs and David, that pug video you sent me today, oh my gosh, like the Titanic, that was beautiful. I haven't sent it to Vicky yet, so I'm going to share that with her.
I think he
We
sent it to me. I just haven't gotten to watch it yet. So
Well, I loved it. So we have fun, right? Because if you think, Vicky, that all this is just, I'm so focused, I'm not talking to my family because you guys come second. No, it's not like that. We have to create an environment, and we have created an environment when it's happy. We're doing things to make our business, and we're staying focused about it. Who I'm going to call on my list? What are the people that I need to follow up with today? You know, what all the things that we have made for this last 2 weeks to create the preferred customers that we needed for the trip, I'm following up every single one of them. Hey, they all got their products. How can I help you? Let's get together. Let's do a Zoom so we can start patching. And by doing that, it create in me something that I'm going to continue to do each and every day. And if you follow something, I believe for 17 days, it becomes a habit. You don't break away from it, you know? Yes, you might have accidents. Like the other day, I got a little boo-boo in my hand and I didn't want to work out. Vicky's like, "You didn't work out?" And I'm like, "No, Vicky, I don't want to open it again." We're like, "That doesn't matter. You still push through it." And I'm like, "Okay, the following day, I'm going to push through it because she's there to coach me through, to get me through the
I'm
dark
motivating
hours,
you.
motivating me, right?" So the same thing is with business. I go with her and I say, "Hey, Vicky, how about those people that you say you were going to call?" Like, I'm coming, I'm getting there, and we motivate each other that way. And, just to say all that is also get in your mind the things that will motivate you. Look at stories, read books. There are people, entrepreneurs, we have groups of reading books that we put together with Lorenzo and Mary. Get that information inside you. Now, of course, get it as I don't want you to think that I'm just throwing all this stuff at you and like all the things, oh my gosh, I got to do all that. No, you do it at your own time. You do it in at your leisure. I believe that there is one thing, I'm going to finish with this, Vicky. Um, I believe that there's one thing that we can all have, and you know what it is? Is time. You might say, I don't have enough time, but that's one thing that we do have. You know why? Because whenever something is important to you, you make time for it. Whenever something is valuable for you, you take your time to take care of that, like your family, your body. You want to eat, right? So you take time to make food. Now, if you spend a little bit of time on doing one thing that is producing you money, you're going to spend more time on it. Why? Because you see the outcome, you see the income coming in. And so you spend time doing that. And hopefully, Vicky, those are really great questions that you that gave to me. I know she had a whole ton of them, and maybe we'll do another video on doing that because they were so good that I believe that the team needed, right? So, does anybody, David, do you or Mary, do you guys have any other questions before we have a few more minutes to go before we can end this call?
No, I don't
Because
have any.
the only thing I wanted to say was, um, I loved when you were answering that question of Vicky's about um, always reminding the people about their why, because that's what we talked about on Monday. So if you guys want a hint, that's what we talked about on Monday, the golden circle,
Oh,
and
wow.
just sharing with everybody. If you forget your why, you have to revisit it. And so many of us that have been in for 2, 3, 4 years, some of us might be forgetting what our why is. And listening to the women on Monday, their whys kept changing, as time went on. So I thought that that was a great comment and question. So thanks, Vicki.
All right, I'm going to share something with you guys right here. This is the last screen share that I'm going to give you. But I think this is really, really important. Let me minimize this. Okay, I grabbed this from Nikki, and of course, did it come through? Oh man, it didn't come through yet. course it wouldn't. All right, now how can I share this? I'll just tell you about it then. This was a little graph that it says, why do we get sick? And Nikki was talking about this. And of course, there is physical malnutrition, which, lack of good food and all that stuff, movement, lack of natural light, time in nature, bad water. This is why we get physically sick. Now, she also, in that paper, it says why we are metaphysically malnutrition. And metaphysically is this: lack of community, lack of stillness, lack of prayer, lack of laughter, and lack of purpose. Okay, so we can get metaphysically sick because we're lacking those things. Now, of course, there's also toxins, and toxins are examples like fluoride, folic acid, pharmaceutical products that we take, and over consuming processed food. That is the reason why we have those toxins in our body. Now, there is also metaphysical toxins that we have. And what are they? Toxic relationships, right? Limiting beliefs, perpetual fighting and fight and flight that our body stays on, EMF, Wi-Fi, and also dishonesty. So I don't know why EMF is there. There's something else about a EMF, but dishonesty. Now, those metaphysical toxins that we have in our body can create things that make us sick. So the reason I talked about this metaphysical malnutrition, Vickie, do you have that? I'd love to share that. Let me send it to you, and maybe you can share it from your screen there.
What?
The
What do you want me to share?
metaphysical, excuse me?
What do you want me to share?
I'll send it to you in WhatsApp. And why
What
is
makes us sick? Why we're sick?
yes.
Yeah, I got that.
You got it? Can
Yeah, I
you
have it.
share it in the group, in the WhatsApp, in the chat?
Yes. Let me send it to myself first on WhatsApp,
Okay.
and then I'll send it.
Yeah, just send it to me too, and I wanted to share it here, and my thing wasn't uh going through. Oh, now it is. Just took a little time. These computers are really slow today. All right, so let me share the screen, and then I'll share that. Okay, so here it is. So the reason I want you guys to look at that, and Vickie will share it in the chat, is we don't want to be sick, right? We want to be healthy. We want to be able to operate to the best of our ability. And if we can run with the best of our ability, then we can give that to everybody else, including our families and our loved ones. And I think it's so important to be able to look at this and say, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of bad food. I want to drink good water. I want to have all these things so that I can provide a best life that I can give to my kids and to my family. And I think that's really important. And I just wanted to give you that. And Vickie, if you mind
I don't
send,
need
or
to
you
share
guys
it,
can do a
right?
screenshot. What's
Yeah,
that?
screenshot. Right. I don't need to share it if you have it on the screen already.
Yeah, if you guys can do a screenshot, you can grab it or we can do this. I can
Or
put it.
I can share it on the WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, go ahead and share it in the WhatsApp group. That'd be awesome. And I'll send it to you guys through here too, so you can have it as a file. Let me put it on my computer. Okay. This is not something that I created. I wish I could be this smart to be able to create something like this, but you can download it from your computer or your phones and look at that list and just pray about it. Does God want you in the community? And I'm so glad that we have created a great community. I'm so blessed to have you guys to be a part of our community. And I just thank God for you every day. So tomorrow, Vickie, we have does Nikki have a call?
Yes, Nikki has a call at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be a great one.
No, absolutely. Those testimonial calls, guys, you want to get your people in there because that's what builds, again, part of the system. That's what builds credibility. It builds belief. Mary was telling me that one of our doctors is talking to one of her prospects. That's credibility, right? So when you hear things and when you bringing people together is what builds our business, because we're a business of people, right? And as we share our lives together, I thank God for you each and every day. And that is all that I have for you today. Vickie, you want to add anything?
No, but just being a part of a community when you come into the business is very important because you want to work with like-minded individuals. So there could be some people that you work better with than others. And you just want to dive into it. And being a part of the community, you can ask all of your questions on there. You can have them answered. You can speak privately to someone. So that's important to stay connected in the community and to get on the Zoom. So that's how we grew. I know for the first 2 years of this business, I was on Brother Roy's Zoom every Tuesday and every Saturday evening. I mean, the man is full of knowledge, and the business, there's so much to learn. So I just wanted to learn as much as possible. And I just dove into it. The sacrifice was made, and it's definitely beneficial because you learn things from other people, not just Brother Roy, but he has people come on, and sometimes it's how they say it or what they say, and you're just like, oh, the light bulb goes off. So it's very helpful to stay connected.
I
Mr.
remember,
Elliot, Mr.
yes.
Elliot, I have a question. Maybe it's not about a complaint or anything. It's just like a question when you prospect people and they ask how expensive it is. How you answer to that?
Well, that's a really great question, and I always agree with people, but I never say but. I say this is how I would answer that person. Yes, the products are X, Y, and Z, whatever cost they're, if you're selling the X39 or a regular, but never say but, and say they are this price because we have done a lot of preparing. You can say P&R. We've done a lot of studies. Um, we take care of people, make sure that the patches are um, they're secure to use in your body. We do a clinical studies. We have world patents covering them. So with all those expenses come along with a great product that is going to be safe and efficacious for you. Now, when you're agreeing with them, but you're not putting a but. Because if you put a but, then you're agreeing with them and saying that they're not valuable. Because you can also take this and say, you know what, try to compare stem cell, uh,
Compared to what?
compared to what? And you can say, let's compare to stem cell technology. What is that going to cost you? 3 to 4
I have a
rounds of
suggestion too.
$5,000 per shot. Okay, so you're talking about $15,000, $20,000 compared to that. So yes, Vickie.
Well, I always like to look at it as investment in my health. So if they're willing to invest in themselves, you'll definitely know. And obviously, I'm a woman, and all the women on here, I know you can do this, but if you really want something, you will find a way. You will get that money. And I mean, if you got to dig deep down in that purse and get all the change out and save it, you are going to save that up, but you're going to do it because that's what you want to do. So that's the thing. If they're determined to commit and invest in their health, then it's so for me also it's either that or you invest in your illness, like Nikki was saying. So I had so many years of going back and forth to the doctors and specialists and treatments and therapies, and it was just I was so tired, so much like tens of thousands of dollars, maybe obviously over hundreds of thousands of dollars at the end. But that's money that I could have saved or invested in my health to make sure that I was healthier, making healthier options. My thing was that I didn't know these things and the doctors weren't giving me those options. So that's why I think options are very important. give them their choices. So if you break it down, do they buy coffee? Do they buy do they, indulge in certain things? They spend money on these things because they want that. And you can break it down to as much as like a Starbucks coffee or a cup of coffee a day. So that's basically what you're getting. And if people buy their coffee out, it gets expensive. So you can find ways to break things down and make them realize without
How,
saying the but, like Pastor Ed said.
how do you answer in text? That's a very long to text to say. I mean, it's that
Yeah.
is when we
I
are
would do
face
a
to
phone
face,
call.
but
I would
how you answer
I
in
would do a
text?
phone call. Do a phone call.
Look, Moe, if you go to our Patched Away YouTube channel, David and Linda did a whole training on approaching and objections. So if you want to, I can share this with you here on the chat. But if you guys go to that video, you guys can watch it. I just sent it to you right now on the chat.
In the chat.
And we also have a lot of video training,
Business
business training.
trainings.
It's all there for you. We spent a lot of time on steps of getting people interested in the products, pre-qualifying, our system, making $1,000 a month, benefits, and owning your business. So all these business trainings are done for you guys so that you can go over them. Most of them are, I'm gonna say all of them are less than an hour. Okay. So spend time on that. Pre-qualifying, we talked about pre-qualifying people here. Steps of getting people interested in the product. This was a really good video that we did with Vickie before. This was 3 years ago, but it's still, relevant today. The pre-qualification, because you don't want to get just everybody in your business. You want to make sure that you have the right people. You can be choosy, okay, if that's a word. So go to our YouTube channel. It's pastorway.com. It's actually youtube.com. What is that? youtube.com/@patchedaway. And you go to the videos, you hit videos, and then you go search for them because there's 258 videos. But if you hit the search here, you just type objections and you'll get the right videos that you need to get for that. But that's a really good question. And I would say compared to what? What are you comparing it to? Right? When people ask you that question, the first answer that comes to my mind is value. Now, are the patches valuable to you, Moing?
Pardon?
Are the patches, or is our technology valuable to you?
Oh yeah, it's helping me right now. In
Praise the Lord.
facing my side effect of the medication I'm taking.
Wow. So you
Wow.
see that? So that to me
What a
is
blessing.
worth $1,000 because it's worked for you. And so your testimony becomes the answer to their objections. They're not saying no. They're only saying, I don't have enough. You haven't given me enough
Not enough information.
information. And so, I had a client, and I'm sorry we're over our hour, but I'll end with this. I've been texting a client, and this is not a conversation that I've been talking to. I've been texting them, and I invited them to come to our Zoom and to look at our website. I sent her a lot of information, and finally she said, "We decided as a family that we're not going to use this technology." And I said, great. I respect your, always be respectful for them, right? I said, I respect you answering me so quick about this, but can I ask you a question? I said, I'm just very curious. What is it about my approach that you didn't like or didn't think that it would work for your family? And she said, we only use products. And I'm just telling you this because this just happened like within a day or two ago. She said, in my family, we only use products that are homeopathic and natural, nothing, that is pharmaceutical. And I said, well, that is
Perfect.
great because that's exactly what our products are. And you know, we will have an appointment with her this week. And again, she wasn't saying no. She was just saying I didn't get enough information. Now, of course,
Right.
I gave her the good information, but some people just don't have the time. It's so much easier to say no than to really to do the research that you need to do. So talk to your friend and say, you know, can I have a phone call with you? Can I take 5 minutes of your time? And then ask her. This is part of the pre-qualification process. Why do you say that it's too expensive? What are you comparing it to? How can I help you? You can do this. I don't know if you were on the call in the beginning. We were talking about how you can get somebody to order the products and get them for free. You can say that to them. Can I show you a way that you can order products for free and just wait, right? So when you're answering objections, don't continue saying it. Just wait for their answer because eventually they'll say is either time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough belief. And you can do something about two of these. All right? What are you
Okay,
laughing?
I'll try.
What are you laughing at, Vickie? All right, so great call, guys. God bless you all. Have a good night, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. And take care and God bless. Bye-bye.
Bless everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
God bless.
Thank you.
Bye. God bless.
Good night.
Bye
Good
bye.
call. Bye.
Good night.